The top 10 most dangerous countries in the world. Safety is a fundamental human need, and for travelers and residents alike, knowing the most dangerous countries can be crucial for making informed decisions. While perceptions of danger can vary, various factors like crime rates, political instability, and natural disasters contribute to a country's overall risk level. Here, we'll explore the top 10 most dangerous countries in the world based on a combination of these factors. 1. Afghanistan. Afghanistan's tumultuous history dates back to the Soviet invasion in 1979, followed by years of civil war and the rise of the Taliban. The ongoing conflict has resulted in extensive destruction, with countless homes, schools, and hospitals reduced to rubble. Millions of Afghans have been internally displaced or have sought refuge abroad, creating a dire humanitarian crisis. Kidnappings, bombings, and targeted attacks are part of daily life. Despite international efforts to bring stability, the future remains uncertain. 2. Syria. The Syrian civil war, which began as a response to government repression during the Arab Spring, has led to immeasurable suffering. The destruction of cities like Aleppo and Homs is heartbreaking, and millions have fled as refugees to neighboring countries in Europe. The presence of extremist groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda has deepened the crisis, leading to brutal acts of violence and terror. Access to basic necessities, such as clean water, food, and health care, is a daily struggle for many Syrians. 3. South Sudan. South Sudan's struggle for independence in 2011 was initially met with hope, but it quickly descended into ethnic violence and political turmoil. The conflict has resulted in a humanitarian catastrophe, with displacement, hunger, and disease rampant. Vulnerable populations, particularly women and children, bear the brunt of this crisis. Peace negotiations have been challenging, and the road to stability remains uncertain. 4. Yemen. Yemen's civil war has created a dire situation, often described as the world's worst humanitarian crisis. Famine, cholera outbreaks, and limited access to medical care have led to widespread suffering. Ongoing fighting between Houthi rebels and the internationally recognized government, supported by a Saudi-led coalition, continues to threaten civilian lives. The impact on children, in particular, is devastating. 5. Iraq. Iraq's instability dates back to the 2003 U.S.-led invasion, which led to the toppling of Saddam Hussein's regime. Since then, the country has faced recurring violence, including terrorist attacks by groups like ISIS. Sectarian divisions have fueled conflict, making Iraq a volatile and dangerous place. The political landscape remains complex, with ongoing protests reflecting the frustrations of the population. 6. Somalia. Somalia's instability is multifaceted, with piracy off its coastline drawing international attention. Internally, the country has grappled with clan-based conflicts, often fueled by competition for resources. Weak governance and a lack of effective state institutions have allowed armed groups to thrive. Access to education and healthcare is limited, leaving many in dire conditions. 7. Libya. Libya's turmoil began with the Arab Spring, leading to the overthrow of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011. Since then, the country has been mired in political chaos, with various armed groups vying for control. Kidnappings, assassinations, and violent clashes are common occurrences. The lack of a stable government hinders progress and exacerbates insecurity. 8. Central African Republic. The Central African Republic has experienced a cycle of ethnic and political violence, with armed groups often targeting civilians based on their ethnicity. This has led to displacement, loss of life, and a breakdown in social cohesion. Despite international peacekeeping efforts, achieving lasting stability remains elusive. 9. Sudan. Sudan's history is marred by conflict, including the Darfur crisis and the secession of South Sudan in 2011. While progress has been made in some areas, pockets of instability persist, particularly in Darfur, where violence and displacement continue. The challenges of reconciliation and rebuilding are significant. 10. Venezuela. Venezuela's political and economic crisis has profoundly affected its society. High crime rates, including violent robberies and kidnappings, create an atmosphere of fear and insecurity. The economic collapse has resulted in severe shortages of food, medicine, and other essential goods. Political unrest and protests reflect the frustration of the population, and the future remains uncertain. In conclusion, these countries face a complex web of challenges that have resulted in significant human suffering and instability. The stories of individuals and communities affected by these crises are a reminder of the resilience of the human spirit, even in the most dire circumstances. Providing support, both on a humanitarian and diplomatic level, is essential to address these deep-rooted issues and work towards a more peaceful and secure future for the people living in these dangerous environments.